Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Tea from the Galaxy, a thirst-quenching podcast for the girls, gays, theys, and astrology baes, where we talk about anything and everything through an astrological lens. So today's podcast is a little different. This is my first time having a little sit down with you guys, catching you guys up about what is happening in the stars right now, how it's affecting the collective, you guys, me. The background is a little different. A lot has been shifting the past few weeks. Mercury Retrograde has been kicking my ass, but in the best ways possible. It's just crazy. A lot has shifted. I have just moved, living on my own. The past few years, I've been living with roommates. I am finally on my feet in a position to live in my own apartment. Cute town, cute community. My kitchen is so freaking cute, guys. Like, I have mint green cabinets. Like, I don't know. I just, when I saw the cabinets, color in rooms, I just love, okay? Like, I am not a beige, white, black, modern type of gal when I decorate. I love color. Excited to decorate my apartment. I live in a 1-bedroom. I just ordered an orange sofa. I'm on day 2 of my period. Day 2 is the worst fucking day for me. I don't want to do shit. First 2 days of my period, I am so sleepy. Do not talk to me. I literally woke up. The first thing I did was put a Reese's peanut butter cup in my mouth. And it was on my bedside ready for me to go this morning. If you want to speak to me, make sure you have a candy bar in your hand first and let me take a bite. But also, Mars is in Libra at 1 degree. I have a Cancer Mars at 1 degree. So the Mars is squaring my Mars. I'm also Scorpio rising. So my chart ruler is Mars. So anything that Mars is doing in the sky for Scorpio and Aries risings, it really does affect us. The Mars squared my natal Mars. A lot of frustration, a lot of heightened emotions, a lot of high intensity, a lot of feeling like you're going to boil over, feeling angry, irritated. And I've been feeling that between my job. I popped off on a person the past weekend. Last night, I was about to pop off on a bitch. My dog has been annoying me because moving into this new apartment, Blue has not been acclimated yet. I know it's growing pains. I just moved into this apartment 2 days ago. So I've been in and out, moving things. Blue is a happy dog. He's like, new place. And then he started sniffing everything. He noticed it was my things. And I saw the wheels turning in his brain, very confused. So then I just stayed with him the whole night. But then the next day I had work and he just bugged out. I came home, he pissed on the floor. Today he pissed on the floor. He's scratching my door up. My neighbor came out earlier today and she introduced herself. She was really nice, but I could tell it was slightly maybe passive because she was just like, I work from home. If you need help with your dog, let me know. It was very nice, but the fact that Blue is being that loud and howling, she said that he was howling, which I see on the camera that he does too. I'm like, fuck. Blue is usually good home alone. But I think this new environment is confusing him. I'm just frustrated, okay? But let's talk about this Mercury retrograde. How are you guys doing? How are you guys feeling under this Mercury retrograde? I have been witnessing a lot of people getting their ass kicked during this Mercury retrograde, just a lot of the classic Mercury retrograde shit happening. Frustrations, miscommunications, delays in packaging, fights, arguments, exes coming back, ex-friends coming back, just past people coming back, a lot of reflecting on the past, a lot of people feeling nostalgic, a lot of things breaking down, a lot of just things not working out for people. Who else has been personally victimized by their ex coming back this Mercury retrograde? Me. That was not my 2025 bingo card. I did have an ex come back this Mercury retrograde and hear from her. I haven't heard from her in a year and a half. I did not expect that. Very on par for Mercury retrograde. Mercury retrograde in Leo can also bring back exes because Leo rules things of romance and dating. This Mercury retrograde, it started off going over the same degrees that Venus retrograded in Leo back in summer 2023. A lot of astrologers were predicting that some things that were happening in terms of relationships and finances back in late summer 2023 could be resurfacing and revisiting now. Back in late summer 2023, I was with my ex-girlfriend. I really thought I was in the clear. How much of the themes of the Venus retrograde back in 2023 is really going to be revisited now during this Mercury retrograde. One, it's 2 different planets retrograding. And 2, the Venus retrograde that retrograded back in 2023 is Venus station retrograde in a late degree of Leo and then retrograded back to the mid degrees of Leo. This Mercury retrograde in 2025 stationed mid degree of Leos and retrograded back to the early degrees. So there's only a little bit of overlap, but that overlapped me in the fucking face. Yeah, when I saw that phone call from my ex, I was like, what the fuck is happening? Mercury stationed retrograde in Leo on July 18th at 15 degrees. On July 22nd, I had plans of releasing a podcast episode with my best friend about narcissistic relationships, being that we were both in one. This has been planned. I recorded that video like the last week of June. Recorded, edited, chopped up, everything. It was done. On July 20th, so 2 days after the Mercury retrograde, I released a little teaser of this podcast episode. And it was basically a little clip saying, you know, don't ever be a chill girlfriend. The last time I was a chill girlfriend, I was prescribed Zoloft. I was almost sent into a mental institution and I had to move across the country. And that was like the basics of the clip. Posted it on TikTok, on Instagram, because a couple of days before I release my podcast, I like to put out clips so people can like get excited about the upcoming week's podcast episode. The next day I get a call from my ex. I didn't name drop or anything, and I wasn't really talking shit. I was just like, if you listen to the podcast, I talk about my personal experience because me and my best friend went through something very similar that a lot of people go through. Things that help me, and the reason that I have this podcast is because 1, I'm alchemizing everything I've been through, all my pain into purpose. And 2, what helps people is hearing other stories about other people going through similar things. 1, it's relatable. And 2, you can use it a little bit as a blueprint as if this person got out of that situation, I can get out of my situation. And I also love the idea of it because 1, my best friend, it was in a straight couple, and me, it was in a lesbian couple. So I thought it was perfect for not only just people in the queer community, but just all people in general to listen to and relate to. And also the whole purpose of the video was also to talk about the point of view of you being the best friend of your best friend being in a narcissistic relationship, because I never heard that perspective before. You hear the perspective of like the person in the relationship, but you don't really hear the perspective of the people surrounding them, because it's hard. It's hard being close to someone who's in such a bad relationship. It's hard to watch your best friend crumble in front of you. So that was a big thing of why I released that episode. It was to be relatable. It was to offer a different perspective. It was to give advice, and it was to tell my truth and to tell experience. It wasn't to talk shit. I will never be silenced. Like, do you not know who I am? My Mercury's in Leo. Like, I want to be heard. You're going to hear me roar, and I'm an emotional being. Like, you're going to hear what the fuck I have to say. You made your bed, because I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to talk about it all day. And it's not because I'm not over it. The reason that I made the podcast is because I am fully over it, and I am seeing things with clarity. And I felt confident enough to talk about it because I'm on the other side of the trauma, of the bridge. I did a lot of healing. I've learned a lot from it. The breakup happened almost 2 years ago. So I get the first phone call, and I was napping when she called me because I had a meeting earlier that morning, and it was actually a really great meeting. I got really great news, something that I'll talk about in a different podcast, but I'm being awoken by vibrations of my phone ringing, and I see that it's my ex's name. I thought I was dreaming. I thought I was in a nightmare. I'm like, what? And I'm just staring at it because I'm like, goes to voicemail. 2 seconds later, she called me again. I'm like, let me just pick it up because I had a feeling it was about this podcast episode being released. She's like, I just don't understand why you're still talking shit about me on the internet. Things are being sent to me. I just said, I don't talk shit. I talk about my real life experiences. I don't really know the purpose of the phone call, but I could guess that it was she didn't want me to release that podcast episode that I was going to release. But nothing that she could have said was going to make me not release that episode. Like, the episode was edited. Okay. It took me hours to edit that shit. It was locked and loaded. It was in a cloud, baby. It was uploaded on YouTube. It was on a queue to get uploaded to all my podcasts. Like, it was in the cloud, babe. She was probably scared of what I was going to say on it because she knew that she treated me very poorly in that relationship. I'm just like, I don't really know what you want me to say. Like, you're the one who called me. And she was like, well, I think it's time that we have a conversation that we should have had a while ago. The first half of our relationship, I was hooking up with other girls. How Mercury retrograde? Not only am I hearing from my ex, but I'm hearing about like trauma that I'm getting like some closure, even though I knew about this, but she never admitted to it. That's the thing. Like, I knew about this already, but she never admitted to it. So it was like some type of full circle like moment that it was so trippy. I'm just like, why are you telling me this now? Like, are you trying to like feel better about yourself? You're trying to like come clean about things so you can move forward and I can stop quote unquote talking shit about you. I'm not talking shit. I'm talking about my personal experiences. I never name drop. If the shoe fits, fucking wear it, tie it up, lace it up and go for a run. I don't talk shit about people. I talk about my life experiences. If you want me to talk nicer about you, you should have treated me better. I talk about positive and negative things about people throughout my whole life. Her calling me and trying to get me to not post this podcast episode by saying, I loved you a lot and we were once best friends. It was very manipulative. And it's kind of like, why are you doing that now? You had so many years, so much time to tell me this. You made me feel like I was going crazy because I knew you were cheating on me. I knew you were doing shit with other women and you denied all of it. And you made me feel like I was insane for a very long time. And now I'm about to post a podcast episode and you want to come around and say, you know, we really did love each other and we were best friends and you were my best friend. So let's not talk badly about each other anymore. In the moment, I was just very taken aback from it. Because first of all, I was awoken from a nap. So I was just like in a fog. Second, I'm punched in the face with this news of the validation of all my intuition for years. It's like, that's a Raven moment. Like, you know, when your female intuition is validated and you're like, oh, you're not crazy. You were right the whole time. I saw shit in her phone. People would tell me things. My intuition was ringing during the time of all this cheating and shit. I knew what was happening, but she denied it all. So it's not until almost 2 years later, you're telling me that all that was actually true. It was just so trippy. It was very Mercury retrograde. And it brought me back to a time period in my life. I can appreciate someone confessing and telling the truth in the moment. I don't hate this person. I obviously love them for a reason. They were my best friend at a certain point in my life. I did say, do I hate you? No, that is true. Do I resent how you treated me? Fuck yeah. I didn't deserve that. I took accountability for my role and that I played too. There were still things that she was denying too. And once she started denying those things again, I shut down and I'm like, fuck this phone call. We hung up, call my best friends right away. Ding, 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 ding. Hello, BFFs. Guess who the fuck just called me? 3 of them picked up. They were like, what the fuck? Now, this is why I love women. I love women empowerment because my one friend was like, yo, I'm so glad that you got that type of closure that you never thought you were going to get, because I really did come to terms with, I'm never going to get closure from this person. So I just have to find the closure on my own, which I did. Hearing things that people tell me what went down was when I was in the relationship with her and afterwards. Closure in and itself, okay? The best kind of closure for me is the emotion of feeling disgusted, okay? My 2 other friends were like, what the fuck? You're about to post a podcast. She doesn't know what it's about. And now all of a sudden she wants to hit you up and be like, we were once best friends, da 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 da. Fuck that, Serena. That was not real. That was not a real emotion. That was not a real conversation. That was her trying to save her reputation and trying to save face. I needed to hear that. I will never be silenced. Okay? Let that be known. And after talking to my friends, I felt like I was in a daze. I felt like I was in a fog, but also wanted to go for a run at the same time. The adrenaline inside of me was going in both directions. Like I wanted to sink into the ground, but also I wanted to punch a hole through the wall. I'm a Cancer Sun, Scorpio rising, Cancer Mars. My Cancer Mars is my chart ruler. My Cancer Sun is at 16 degrees. 16 degrees is a Cancer degree. I am a Cancer through and through. I'm a water sign baby through and through, okay? But I have a Capricorn moon. Your moon is how you process emotions in Capricorn, in an earth sign that is grounded and takes a long time and delayed and doesn't like being emotional, is opposing making a harsh aspect to my Cancer placements. And being this type of person I am, I be feeling a lot, but I'm not processing it. Like, so this is something that I struggle with. Or if you have an earth moon with water placements in your chart, you could probably relate to this. I be feeling a lot, but the time that it takes for me to process things, it takes me a long time to process things. Something that I'm trying to work on is the time period that I feel numb. Like traumatic things happen to me. I feel like I enter a stage of purgatory because I'm feeling a lot, but I'm not understanding what I'm feeling. Or I'm trying to run away from those feelings because I'm just feeling a lot, but I don't know what's happening. So you just want to escape those feelings. So after that phone call that night on Monday night, I felt like I was in that numb purgatory feeling. And I'm like, I got to go to the beach. And this is why I love the beach and why I need to live by a beach, because since I could drive, the beach was that outlet for me. Like just sitting in the sand, listening to the ocean, staring at the ocean, floating in the ocean, it grounds me. I'm laying on the beach and my best friend texts me, what's going to be your new address? Because I need to send over my bridal shower information. Now, I've been known where I was going to move for like a few weeks prior. I never really looked at my new address. So I went to go look at my new address. I was like, hold on one second, let me go look it up. I look it up. The street name is the same street name as my ex-girlfriend who just called me earlier that day, who I was supposed to live with and move into at the end of 2023. I was like, whoa, what the hell? I didn't even realize this is going to be my new address. We broke up like fall 2023. Like I feel like my life since fall of 2023 until now recently took the illest detour, continuing where I left off, but in such a more confident version of myself, a more wise version of myself, and a more secure version of myself. I don't know, like I can't explain it. It's just so trippy. That moment was just so trippy to me. Kind of like, why are all of these themes from this time period in 2023 popping up now? So I'm very curious to know if anyone else is having similarities of like the end of summer, early fall 2023 to now, because there's a lot that's coming into full circle. And I am finally at a point in my life where I feel confident and secure again and feeling myself, and I feel excited for life. I feel optimistic, which is another thing that I've been reflecting on too. The day after that, July 22nd, I had a scheduled podcast with a friend. The podcast was released already. 2 Scorpio risings talk about their experience with Uranus going through our 7th house. 7th house is a relationship house. So this is another thing that forced me to reflect on my relationships the past 7 years. Just a lot of self-reflection and a lot of realizing like, I have came a long way, okay? I finally feel like I'm getting a grip on life again and things are working out for me left and right. And I just feel like I am exactly where I'm supposed to be. And I guess where I'm picking up where I left off was because I didn't realize how much the trauma was subconsciously affecting me the past almost 2 years. Me feeling like I can't trust anyone. Me feeling like I can't trust myself because it was also healing from like an ego thing. Like my ego was hit from that. It was like, Serena, what the fuck? What did you stay in? What did you put up with? Who did you turn into? What did you look like at the end of that relationship? I was looking back on things, on like pictures and videos of myself of what I looked like at the end of the relationship. I looked like shit. You really let someone control you like that? You really let someone tell you who you can be friends with, who you can't be friends with, that you can't go out, that you can't do certain things? You really let someone cheat on you and fuck other bitches and then come home and fuck you? Disgusting. I think that was the biggest thing that I was healing from, like that ego hit. Like that was an ego bruise. Like, damn, Serena, because it's not like this was my first relationship. I took years healing from another previous relationship that lasted almost 6 years. I took years off being single and then entered this one with her to get hurt again. So it was like, I was like, fuck, Serena, like, get it right. Get it right for once. Like, why? What's happening? Like, were you really healing or were you just numbing? And that was a big realization this past year, especially because I've gone sober this past year. So it forced me to really face to face my shadow self and really learn how to deal with things head on instead of escaping, instead of partying, instead of drinking, instead of smoking, instead of fucking, instead of entering relationships that you shouldn't walk into. And really, you need to heal yourself first. And I finally feel like I am at a point in my life where I am healed. I mean, being healed is a journey. You're never like healed, I'm healed. But like, I feel like I'm at a confident point in my life where if someone was to enter my life, the relationship would be good. I feel confident in myself and I feel secure. And I don't feel like I have this negative outlook on relationships, because it wasn't until recently that now I finally have that closure and I feel like this big weight lifted off my shoulders that I don't view relationships in such a negative light. And I didn't realize I was subconsciously doing that the past 2 years, thinking that everyone was going to hurt me, thinking that things just aren't going to last, thinking that I can't trust nobody. And what's the point? I feel confident and ready to date again. I mean, I put myself back on Hinge 2 months ago, but like, what is happening? Like, why do Leos love me? I swear to God, I'm attracting Leos left and right. And I always do. Either Leo suns or Leo risings, left and right. All my exes, by the way, have Leo placements. I'm still attracting people with Leo placements. So now this is also like retrograde reflecting too. I'm like, okay, Serena, is the universe telling you that you're not ready to date? After my last ex-girlfriend, I kind of like swore myself off of Leos. Like maybe a Leo Venus I'll take, but like Leo rising, I'm just like, I feel like the universe gave me enough Leos and Leo risings in my life to be like, yeah, this isn't for you. Okay. Leo women though are entering my life. Either I'll match with someone on Hinge. I see they're Leo. What the fuck? I was talking to a girl briefly, like Leo placements. What the fuck? I'll be scrolling on TikTok and I'm like, this girl is fine. Click on her TikTok. She has like the Leo symbol in her bio. What the fuck? Leos, why do you love me? Like, Leos love me. What do you want from me? Her retrograde is doing its thing. It's retrograding. Another thing that happened to me during this retrograde was a friend of mine, Sophia, she brought me to a women's circle and it was actually on the new moon in Leo. And I just feel like it was so meant to be because it was on a Thursday night. And usually I work Thursday nights, but I didn't work this Thursday night. It was also a new moon. I hit Sophia up. I was like, what are you doing? Let's do some new moon witchy thing. She was like, fuck yeah. Let's go to my friend's women's circle. She brings me to this women's circle that her friend Ava. If you guys are watching this, I want to thank you again so much. The women's circle was so beautiful. It was just a group of women really just sitting down and connecting with each other. We had a cacao ceremony. We did a little sound healing at the end and just women just sitting, just really getting real and vulnerable. And a lot of people's stories really touched my heart and vice versa. I told them that, literally 2 days ago, my narcissistic ex reached out to me because I was getting ready to post a podcast episode, kind of giving a tell-all about our relationship. And she really didn't like that and was trying to manipulate me into not posting that podcast. And after the women's circle, so many women came up to me and resonated with what I was saying, 1, 2, and was so proud that I still released the episode. And these women that don't even know me were proud of me and were like, I can't wait to listen to your episode because I relate to what you were saying. Afterwards, I reflected, I'm like, this is exactly why I do what I do. It was an inspiration for these women to see me and be like, I'm so glad you didn't let your toxic ex fucking scare you, because being in a narcissistic relationship, like, it was scary being in. And when she called me, I was a little scared. Never know. Like, I never know what I'm going to get. I never know what side, what emotion I'm going to get. I never know what her intentions are. I never know what she's going to do, because you're ripping off their mask to the public and they don't like that. And they were like, it takes a lot of courage to do what you did. So I'm really proud of you. And it just really touched me. And going to that women's circle just really made me realize that these are like the types of people I want to surround myself with. And this is like what I want to do too, because a goal of mine is also to run women's circles too, for the girls, gays, days, and astrology baes, but in-person circles. I was second guessing the podcast after I released the podcast because my ex reached out to me. So I was texting my friends. I was like, do you think I said too much? They were like, no, Serena, and don't you even think about taking that podcast down. And I was kind of telling like these girls that too. I was like, I was second guessing a little bit releasing that. And they were like, no, I'm so glad you did. At the beginning of this women's circle, I pulled some cards, some oracle cards. They had oracle cards laying on the table. I pulled a card from this one deck, the number 7 card, and it was a Legacy of Light, and just listened to one of the little excerpts of the meaning of this card. The Oracle of Legacy of Light comes to you when you need confirmation that a creative choice you are making or have made or soon will make is one that is in alignment with your sacred purpose and spiritual path of healing and growth. The legacy of light cannot be ignored without some detriment to your sense of well-being. If you are asking about a particular question and drew this card, then part of your answer to your question is that the issue at hand is one of the utmost importance to your spiritual growth, even if it seemed like relatively insignificant question. Yo, my spirit guys got my back, bro. I'm divinely protected, dude. Don't fuck with me, okay? Like, I be getting messages left and right. Like, my spirit guys, I have so many angels surrounding me, and I've been known this since I was a little girl. I needed that message. And since I released that podcast episode, messages that I'm getting continuously is turning my pain into power. I've just been getting messages left and right that I am on the right path. Even moving into this apartment, I moved into this apartment a couple days ago. I wake up, I go on an app, I see 1111, my mailbox key, 11. First apartment number that I see when I walk into my building, 111. I go get gas. The price of my gas, $38.38. Numerology that breaks down to 1111. I get my car right after the car in front of me, license plate 777. Driving 2 more minutes, I see a phone number. Taxi cab service 777. My angels and my spirit guides screaming at me that I am exactly where I'm supposed to be, and this is like new beginnings for me happening all over. Also, I've been feeling called to wearing this necklace lately too, which is very interesting because I bought this necklace around the time that I broke up with my ex back in like fall 2023, and I don't really wear it. And now all of a sudden I'm like, ooh, I want to wear this again. Like, I want to start wearing this again. So I can't explain the feeling that I feel of how I feel like I'm continuing life where I left off in 2023, except a better version of me. Feels so trippy, bro. Like, life just has been feeling so trippy, but so fucking good at the same time. Like, things are just aligning for me. Things just feel so good. Hi guys, I just want to quickly interrupt this video to let you guys know that I do birth chart readings. Hello, I'm an astrologer. If you guys wanted to book a birth chart reading with me, these are a couple of the readings that I do offer. I offer a regular birth chart reading. It's a breakdown of your birth chart. This is a perfect reading for beginners. For all my readings that I offer, you have an option of getting it pre-recorded, and I'll send it through a private YouTube link over to you, or face-to-face on Zoom. I also offer what is happening to me right now, astrologically type of reading for what is currently happening to you and what is about to happen to you in terms of astrology. I offer dream career readings. This is perfect for if you feel a little lost career-wise, if you want to dive more into your life purpose and your higher self, your life's destiny, and the perfect work environment for you. Offer love life readings. So there's one of 2 ways you can get this reading done. One, if it's just you, I can tell you who your perfect partner is based off your birth chart. Also, what your love life is looking like currently, if you are single, or even if you are in a relationship and you kind of want to know what is happening now or in the future with you and your partner. The second option is compatibility readings. And this is where you and your partner can get a compatibility reading done by me to see the synastry and compatibility between your guys' charts as things that are really good about your relationship, things that you should work on from an astrologer's point of view. I will link all these readings down below. If you follow me on Instagram, T from the Galaxy, or Angelfish Astro, I have it in my bio under my Snip feed account. I have all the different readings that I offer. You can click on them and book with me straight from the link. Tomorrow is also the full moon in Aquarius at 17 degrees. And what I like to do with full moons is I like to look back on what was happening around the new moon 6 months prior, because you can start to see things come into fruition now. You can start to see things coming to an end. Certain things are being illuminated in your life. You might have to release, or there's just like a lesson to be learned. So it's just very interesting to see patterns. As an astrologer, a piece of astrologer advice to give to you guys is keep a fucking journal. Please journal everything, because astrology is the observation of patterns. Having a journal really is very, very important to kind of pick up on these patterns and or predict what's going to happen to you. The new moon in Aquarius happened on January 29th, 2025. So let me look at my handy dandy diary here. Also like to see how different my life is within a 6 months time span too, because as the Scorpio rising that I am, you guys already know we be going through death and rebirths every like 6 months, bro. I go through like a different identity shift 3 times a year. It's like not even funny. This life is not easy to live. If you have Scorpio placements, you feel me. If you love people who have Scorpio placements, please like love them a little harder, because they need it. Okay. Like, we be going through a lot of shifts, a lot of ego deaths. It's not for the weak, okay? This was actually from January 28th. I don't have anything from the 29th, but January 28th, the job wasn't legit. I got scammed by a con artist. Yesterday, McKenna, my coworker, sent me a Facebook page warning about this guy. He is a known scammer on the East Coast. These stories on the page and on the website are all repeats of what he was telling us. I can't believe I fell for that. I literally can't. My intuition was ringing, and once again, I didn't listen to it. I don't know what's wrong with me, honestly. I can't believe I let a dollar sign blind me that hard. I'm trying to see if I can get my money back from Zelle. I can't believe I readily fucking sent this guy money. That is so not like me. I just didn't want to lose this opportunity. I was actually excited about it. It was something that intrigued me. I was excited to tell my parents about it. I finally feel like I would have made them proud. It's whatever. Now I'm scared for my safety. This guy knows where I live, where I work, where I hang out. What if he tries stealing my identity or taking money out of my accounts? I've been so paranoid, it's not even funny. I just want to run away to be honest. I think I'm going to quit E2 today, which was my old sales job. And I did quit. I can't do it anymore. I'm so burnt out. It's not even funny. I need a new game plan. So backstory as to what the fuck was happening to me 6 months ago. Me and my friend got scammed. This is like a whole different story for a whole different day. But basically, my friend worked at a kava bar. This guy was frequently going to this kava bar. Got to know this guy. He said that he owns all these yachts in Miami. He's bringing it up to Fort Lauderdale. He needs bartenders, bar managers, My friend introduced me to this guy. I told him I'm a bartender. Actually, I met him after work, after one of my shifts. So I was wearing my uniform and he was like, "Oh, what do you do?" I said, "I'm a bartender." He was like, "What? I need bartenders." Getting to know this guy, he really talked a big game and a very convincing fairy tale of I would be a bar manager for these yachts and I would have all this freedom and creating cocktails and I would run, I would just manage like all these yachts. And I just felt like me being in the restaurant industry for 10 plus years, I felt like it was a step up. That the pay that he said it was going to be was worth it. And that's the reason I never walked into management. I only stayed in like bartending because I don't think management money is worth it. This seemed worth it. And he had an LLC. He showed me it. He had a Gusto account and everything. Like this shit seemed legit. So I was telling my coworker about it and she did some digging with her mom and found out that this guy is a scammer. A whole page about it on Facebook. And I should have known, like I had a gut feeling because this guy was rushing me. He was like, I need to know an answer like now. And my brain, I was like, I'm just going to work this job, stack up for a year and just be out because I didn't like this guy. I had that gut feeling, but I was blinded by the dollar signs because at that time I was working 3 jobs. I was working nightlife, I was doing my astrology stuff, and I was working a 9 to 5. I was extremely burnt out. See, like winter 2024 to winter 2025, I was in grind mode, okay? I was like just really trying to make a lot of money and save up and pay off debt. I was blinded by this dollar sign because I was like, I'll quit all my jobs right now and dedicate my life to this. Also, being that I don't have a quote unquote career, I feel like a disappointment to my family. None of my family understands what I'm doing. I feel like now that I live in my own apartment, they're kind of like, oh, what? How much money does she make? No one thinks that what I'm doing is stable. And I felt like if this job was finally I could turn around to my parents and be like, look, I have a job. Like, you know, you can be proud of me type thing. So I was blinded by the money. I was blinded by the potentiality of like making my parents proud. But another thing that was weird too was he told me and my friend that we have to pay for our background checks. And his storyline was, there's so many people in Miami who have a bad background check. I've wasted so much money on paying for background checks that I just asked for people to pay for their own. This clicked in my brain in a way that I was like, if you have so much fucking money, why can't you just pay for your own background checks? But I don't know, man. Like I was just so... Bro, I was so blinded. Also at this time period, like my dog got salmonella too. And I'm just like, I need money. Wild. I'm so glad that my coworker like found this page and I was like, yo, fuck, this guy's a scammer. I ended up getting my money back because I did pay for my quote unquote fucking background check. I got my money back from Zelle. I blocked his ass on everything. Everything ended up being fine, but I realized that money isn't everything and that I needed a new game plan. I quit my sales job and then my current job, the bar that I work at, I told them, I'm like, you know, I'm quitting my sales job. I'm going to need a second job. And they're like, no, don't do that. We'll give you more shifts. So, and that's when I started working cocktail and bottle service. So now I make good money. And by saving that money, I was able to like live on my own. So it's just a crazy reflection on where I was just 6 months ago to where I'm at now. And I was so lost 6 months ago and feeling very unstable. And now I feel like just in a way stable position. And like back then I'm thinking like, yo, how could I even survive without a roommate? And now 6 months later, I'm like living on my own. I don't know. It's just crazy. Like that was a crazy reflection. I can definitely go on a whole podcast episode talking more about this experience, but that was just a wild experience. But I'm getting ready to go out to an emo night, guys. Thank you so much for watching this episode. And let me know how Mercury Retrograde has been treating you guys. If you have been personally victimized by Mercury Retrograde this retrograde season. Okay. Stay safe out there, guys. And I love you. Thank you for watching.